The Self-Love Sanctuary Show. Self-Love Sanctuary Show. With your host, Coach LuRussia.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Self-Love Sanctuary Show. I am your host, Coach LuRussia. I have my tea. I hope that you have your tea, your coffee, or your favorite beverage as we sit back and chat. Well, today we have another phenomenal show, and we have another phenomenal guest. And I know that I say this every week, but we only have phenomenal guests on the Self-Love Sanctuary Show. We have Detra Trueheart, and I tell you, she is phenomenal. She's smart. She is beautiful. She is educated. She's an influencer. She's a motivator. She's a creator. She is a wife, a mother, and she is, but most of all, she is God's girl. She walks on this runway of life, and she owns it. She does it big. She does it her own way. She does that in a way no one else can do because she is authentically herself. She is perfectly imperfect, and she knows what she is put on this earth to do. I tell you, she is truly confident, and she is helping other women to be their best selves. She is in the virtual green room. She is drinking her virtual peach tea, and she is relaxing, listening to some smooth jazz, getting prepared to come in and share a little bit about who she is and what she does. I'm going to, at this time, just give you a little bit of information about our guest speaker because you're going to want to know more about her. She is truly phenomenal. She is truly one of a kind, and you're going to want to connect with her on her social media platforms. Well, let me tell you a little bit about her. Detra is a speaker, preacher, author, content creator, coach, and strategist. Her life's work for the past 20 plus years has been about teaching people how to live their best lives on their terms. She's passionate about faith, life purpose, leadership, and family. She teaches women of faith and leaders to get unstuck and get out of their own way in life, ministry, and the marketplace by shifting their beliefs and behaviors through speaking, consulting, online courses, and strategy sessions. I told you that she is one of a kind, and I'm not going to prolong our time together. I'm going to bring her in live. Well, hello, Detra.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm awesome. I am actually drinking some tea and sitting back and relaxing, so I love that introduction.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you loved it. I am excited to have you, and I thank you that when I reached out to you that you said yes to coming back on the show and talking to us and sharing with us about how to get unstuck and how to move forward in our life. I tell you, I can't wait for the listening audience to hear what it is that you have to say.
I'm excited too.
All right. Well, the way I open the show is, one day me and some of my good girlfriends, we went to the movies and we saw this movie called Top 5. Now, Chris Rock, he wrote it, he starred it, and he produced it. In this particular part of the movie, he was in a room full of comedians, and he asked them this question. He said, who are your favorite top 5 rappers? Now, Detra, I'm not going to ask you who your favorite rapper is because you know what? You may say Nicki Minaj, say Cardi B or Remy Ma, and then we're beefing. And you know what? I refuse to beef with you because it's nothing but love. So I will not do that. But I do have a question. Would you like to play along with me?
Absolutely.
All right. Detra, now I know that you are a woman that wear many hats, but you do have fun and you do practice self-love and self-care. Now, if you could be practicing self-care right now, what would you be doing?
Well, one of my favorite self-care things that I do, which I am doing right now, is drinking tea and sitting up under a blanket. But I love taking hot baths with sea salt, whether it's like eucalyptus, spearmint. I love taking naps. I love a good massage. And so I think if I could go out, I probably would schedule a massage.
Mm. Now, with getting this massage, you're not going to go in there a little bit more with this massage. Would you get a wrap, or would it just be a massage? Would it be a facial added, or just, what kind of massage would it be? Because you're not living vicariously right now.
Yes, we are totally living vicariously. So there would definitely be a facial involved. There would definitely be a mani-pedi involved. And there would also be, I love, I don't think they're called sea salts, but it's a scrub massage. So not only do they massage you, but you do a body scrub. And so basically they kind of scrub all of the, I guess, gooky stuff that's all on your skin. I absolutely love those. And it would probably be a full 90-minute massage.
Yes. I am with you right here, right now. Thank you so much for explaining to us what it is that you would be doing, but I would be right there with you, I promise you.
Yes, listen, a whole lot of girlfriend time.
Yes, you know what? After this is all over, what we're going through currently, that's something that I think we need to do. Decompress from what's going on. Get our massage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for playing along with me. Now, today's topic is get out of your own way and show up. Oh my God, that is so powerful. So powerful. But teacher, if I can ask you a question, I would like to know, what does it mean to get out of your own way?
Well, in the simplest terms, it really means to stop procrastinating, stop overthinking, to do the thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing, right? And so many times we overthink a process. Many times we undervalue what we bring to a process or an assignment or whatever the case may be. And so getting out of your own way really is getting out of your head and getting into your heart and really being in alignment with where God wants you to be and taking the steps to move forward regardless of the fear or the hesitation that to some extent has caused you to be stuck for a really, really long time.
I love this because, when you were talking and you talk about procrastination and everything, I was like, because that was my story. I overthought everything. I procrastinated, and God will give you, give you something to do. I'm sitting there overthinking, overanalyzing, and everything else, and not ever really producing what it is that He had for me to do. Really, it was rooted in fear of rejection, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I will not go there, but that's what I've noticed. My question for those that are listening and they're saying, I procrastinate, I'm stuck. Right now, I just feel like I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm in my own way. How do they get started?
Well, I think the first step is to acknowledge where you are. And so I think you have to acknowledge that you're in your own way. You're the reason why you haven't gotten started, right? A lot of times we like to say it's people. Like we like to say, oh, well, my husband or my wife or my children or my job. And the reality is there are some things that you can absolutely do right now that don't require the apology or permission of anybody else. You have to give yourself permission to move forward. You don't ask, and the reason for many of us, we don't move forward is because we seek the approval and the permission from other people. And there are some things that don't require anybody else's permission but God. And if God has given you permission, if He's given you the call, if He's given you the assignment to do whatever it is to do, and sometimes it's just as simple as taking care of yourself, right? Something as simple, which for many may seem hard, like scheduling a massage, right? You got to get out of your own way and know that you're worthy of that. And so I think the first thing is acknowledge that it's you. You're the reason why you're not where you want to be. And then we can talk about what that looks like as it relates to your specific issue and breaking down steps to help you take steps and be more accountable and to continue to move forward until that thing becomes a new part of your lifestyle.
My God, you said a mouthful. You have to be willing to do the work, I tell you. And you said something. You said stop seeking permission and approval from others. And that is a big one, especially for us as mothers, us as women. We want, our husbands and other people to be okay with what we're doing. And we find ourselves sometimes when they don't understand or agree with or don't see, we get mad. We don't do it or whatever. And it's a form of excuse. It's a form of excuse not to move forward. So my next one is, why is it imperative for us to show up fully and authentically? Because, if we are called to do things and we know we have purpose and we have destiny, but we're staying stuck and we're not moving forward and we're not living our best life and we are procrastinating and blaming other people for not being able to produce, and you then gave us the steps in how to start the process. Well, and a lot of people talk about show up and level up and do all these things up, but they're not talking about fully showing up and being their authentic self. Why is that so important?
Well, because you're needed. The funny part about a lot of what I'm saying, if you're listening, is that it really is that simple. Like that, you showing up fully is important. That the people who are assigned to you, the people who are connected to you, need to fully experience you. And so when you don't show up fully, when you show up halfway, you don't give them all of who you are. Right. The other part is that us not showing up fully teaches our children, boys and girls, what it looks like to not show up fully, right? And so we teach them not to show up fully, or we teach them that not showing up fully is the only way to show up. And so I think that we have a responsibility to model that for the legacy that comes behind us, even whether you have children or not. You've got nieces, you've got nephews, you've got little people who maybe you teach or who you're connected to, godchildren, grandchildren, whatever the case may be. And so I think showing up fully, and here's the other thing, you owe it to yourself to show up fully. You owe it to yourself to live your best life, right? There's a saying that says that the richest place in the world, I think, and I'm going to totally mess this up because unless I'm reading these types of things, I always mess it up. But I think it says like the richest place or the most valuable place in this world is a cemetery because there's so many people who died with dreams that never came to pass. And so for you not showing up fully, when you leave here, you also don't leave here empty. You leave here taking what you should have left here on earth with you. And so that's why you got to show up fully and authentically, because you have to give all of who you are to those who are waiting for you to show up.
Well, my God, you just said a mouthful on that one. Because, I read the same thing that you're talking about people dying and how it is the richest place, the grave is the richest place, because a lot of people never lived out their purpose and their destiny, never fulfilled their dreams, and they didn't die empty, but they died still full. And so what they were supposed to deposit into this earth realm, they never did. They never deposited it. So, Detra, with that being said, I would like to know, what was the catalyst in your life that made you say, you know what, I need to show up for myself. I need to be my authentic self. Because I understand that a lot of times when we go through things, God uses it as our message, as, and to help us to help others. So what did you go through that said, I need to show up. I need to get unstuck. And I need to move forward in my own life?
there were probably a lot of different things that took place, and I'll say, to some extent, I think it varies at various levels, right? But I think most recently, probably, I'll say the first thing was probably when when I had a traumatic situation happen in my family, and I realized that me selling myself short didn't hurt anybody but me. That when you recognize, like, even in this space now, so let me just, even though this is about me, I want you all who are listening to really understand this. Even in the space that we're in right now, the things that are happening in this environment that's happening all over the world, talk to me a little bit about, and I'm saying talk to me as if you and I are talking, and all of us, you listening, about what it is that you have not fully put on the table. And when you think about this situation, and you think about people who are dying, and people whose lives are at stake, right? And you think about, dang, there's so many different things that I have yet to do, that if today was my last day, I don't think that I will be able to do everything, right? That if tomorrow is my last day, have I shown up fully? And so for me, there have been literally like traumatic life instances that have happened in my life that made me say, you know what, I don't have any choice but to show up. And the other part is that God, my relationship with him, he didn't allow me to sit and sulk. He didn't allow me to stay in that space. And so for many of us, we feel like our circumstance gives us an excuse for not showing up fully. Well, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I had to go through. And you know what? I don't, but God does. And at the end of the day, that's the very thing that somebody else needs to hear in order for them to know that if you can make it, they can make it. And so for me, it really has been when the floor has been knocked right up from under me that I realized that, you know what? I don't have the opportunity or the liberty to continue to play small. I don't have the opportunity or the liberty to continue to dumb down who I am because it makes you feel okay. I don't have the liberty, like at the end of the day, if I know that tomorrow is not promised and I know that God has given me a certain amount of time and I don't know what that time is, and my prayer is that, Lord, I will live till my 80s and my 90s and to 100. But when we think about the life of Jesus Christ, that he only had 3 years to impact this world, what would your life be like if you only had 3 years to impact this world and impact the people who you are assigned to? And so for me, it literally was the traumatic situations that happened in my life that said, Detra, you don't have time to be playing around and thinking about this and figuring out whether or not if it works or not. You got to do it, and you got to show up, because here's the thing. People who sometimes when you're teaching something, God will take you through something to see if you believe what you teach. And so he had to take me through some things to say, okay, you've been teaching it to the people and you've been talking to the people. Now you got to live the thing that you've been teaching to the people, because now the people are watching you go through.
Yes. You could have kept on, but you let it all hang out. But no, I understand wholeheartedly, because I teach self-love transformation. And I found myself really struggling in that area. And I remember, I'm just telling off of myself, I was at church one day, walked in for the first time at this church I currently attend, and the pastor was doing a series on love. So I'm sitting there like, okay. And I'm here, and I start feeling convicted every Sunday during the whole series. Because what God showed me was, you don't tolerate. And I was like, what? That I tolerate. And so with that being said, he had to really deal with me about me and help me and show me myself. I had to allow him to show me so my eyes could be open, so I can do my work, so I can be better for somebody else. Because the things that we have gone through is not just for us, but he will allow those things to happen so we can move forward, just like this time in which we're in. It is a great time to be creative. It is a great time to do what God has called us to do, because like you said, Jesus only had 3 years, and he showed up, and he was supposed to do. So, with that being said, we're on social media together, and we get a chance to see a lot of the conversation that's going on with what's going on in our climate, and we get a chance to hear the good and the bad. And then that's absolutely encouraging. How do you maintain your balance during this process with all the things that are going on socially? and what's going on, in our current, what's going on in our world currently?
Well, for most of you, this will surprise you, but I don't watch the news. I stopped watching the news when my son was born 8 years ago, only because when we watch TV, I watch something that is age appropriate for him. And so that's the first reason why I don't watch the news. The second reason is because the news is depressing. And the third reason is because somebody will call me and say, hey, did you hear so-and-so and so? So anything that's relevant to me, they will call me and tell me. And so I now watch it every so often just to kind of keep on the up and up. But there's so many people who are watching the news for me, specifically on social media, that you don't have to watch the news to know what's going on because everybody else is watching the news. And so I will say that for me, I don't spend a lot of time watching the news because I understand that what I take in affects how I process. And so I'm very careful about what I place in my ear gate and my eye gate. The other thing is I'm also very careful even about social media, because you can get sucked in with what everybody is posting out there. And so I'm also careful about the amount of time that I'm spending on social media right now. And even just as an entrepreneur, I am limiting the amount of time that I spend from a personal standpoint on social media. And my focus lately has really been sharing from a business perspective. And so when I come on, it's more professionally focused. And then I try not to comment on what's going on. And so that's a whole nother thing. Like, everybody feels like they got to share their opinion and they got to put stuff out there. The only thing that I share is what I feel that I'm led to share. I may put some fun stuff out there. I may share things like I did share one or two posts that were helpful to people, like not just sharing information, but things that I thought were helpful. I am all of the mindset of sharing things that are a part of the solution and not just sharing garbage, being a garbage sharer dumper, right? So I'm not your garbage disposal. I don't want all of the stuff that you're sharing, and so I'm mindful of that. And so so that's really how. And then I pray. So I'm heavily prayed up. I'm heavily just kind of reading my word and seeking God just about this space, and I'm covering myself, covering my family, and so those are ways that for me, and I would say not only in this space, but I think many people who, especially when we talk about getting out of your own way and showing up, many of you can't get out of your own way and you can't show up in the way that you want to show up because you spending way too much time watching what everybody else is doing and listening to what everybody else is saying. And so when you get to a space that you understand that you may have to put yourself on a time limit on the amount of time that you spend on social media, and if you're a business owner, find resources that can allow you to automate what you share. And so it may look like I might be online, but I may not actually be online, because I have scheduled posts, I put posts out there, so that I might actually be taking a nap when my post goes out. And so I'm just trying to be in this space careful of my time, careful of my mindset, careful of my emotions, careful of my faith, because I really believe that right now there's a spirit of fear that is trying to take over a lot of people. And people who might be considered believers are succumbing to it because they're not paying attention to what they're listening to and what they're watching, and they're not feeding their faith more than they're feeding their fear. So I could totally go on on that as well, but I think that what you feed leads. And so if you continue to feed fear, if you continue to feed into the emotion of fear, if you continue to feed into all of that, then that's where your emotion goes. That's why you can't sleep, because you're feeding into the anxiety, you're feeding into the worry, you're feeding into the doubt. And that's even as it relates to getting out of your own way, right? And so if you're feeding into the I'm feeding into I don't know, what are people going to think? Feeding into what if I fail? Then guess what? Then you're never going to get started, as opposed to, there's a saying that says, what if I fail? And it says, oh, but darling, what if you fly? Like, you'll never know if you don't try. You'll never know if you take the first step. And guess what? You're not going to succeed on the first time, because if you have children, or if you've babysat, or if you've watched videos of kids when they first start walking, they don't walk the very first time. They start out crawling. They start out standing up, and they're wobbling a little bit, and even in the standing, you're like, oh my God, they're doing it, and boom, they fall, right? And so if you take the mindset of, even in this space and even in getting out of your own way, as I'm just going to put myself out there, because if I don't, I'll never know what happens on the other side. You also got to be in a space where you can't let all of this stuff come in, because this stuff too is a distraction.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
This stuff too is a distraction, right? It's a distraction, because what I've learned, and here's the thing that I have been paying attention to, is that in times like this is where multi-million and multi-billion-dollar ideas are birthed.
Yeah.
And so if you are focused on the wrong thing, you will miss opportunities that are looking you right in your face. And so my intention has been, Lord, during this time, show me what I'm missing. Show me what it is that I need to be doing to prepare myself and to position myself. Show me, speak to me. Let me quiet myself. Some of you just need to cut everything off and just balance, where you are and what it is that you need to be doing, and focusing only on that. Stay informed. Don't be ignorant, but you have to monitor your intake.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
You're welcome.
And you just went on and on, because I believe everything that you're saying wholeheartedly, and I know it. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, no, stop looking at the news like that or whatever's going on like that, and you get focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because you're so distracted, and I had to really deal with myself and get the nope. What is God calling you to do? What is He telling you to do in this season? What are you supposed to be working on? It is no more than yourself. Do that. So everything you're saying, I totally agree, and I thank you so much. Now we're getting to that part of the show that I hate, and that's the part where I have to let you go. But, and I know you said a lot, but I want to give you final remarks, and I want to give you an opportunity to share your social media platforms with us, because you said so much, and I am an advocate for women, a champion for women. I believe in what we are doing, those that are doing what God is calling them to do. So if you are listening and you have an event coming up, a workshop, a seminar, teleconference, or you host a radio show, she would be perfect for it. She would be perfect. And I know you heard her message. I know you heard her heart. I know you heard her passion. And I know that you heard what she was saying. And she would be perfect for what you have coming up. Hit her up, contact her. She's going to give you her information so that you can connect with her. Detra, I'm going to let you have final remarks and give us your social media information.
Okay. I would just like to say that in this time and in this space, take the time to really think about what it is and where it is that you want to be on the other side of this space. Like, if you're not where you want to be, think about where you want to be. Think about, some of you haven't even taken the time to figure out what it is that makes you happy. You don't even know. You've been on autopilot for so long, and you've been doing the thing for so long that doesn't satisfy you, that you know is not your space that you have been called to. And so I encourage you in this time of quiet time, and really create quiet time. Like, sometimes you have to take your own time back. As they say, Auntie Maxine says, I'm reclaiming my time. Sometimes you have to reclaim your time. And so no matter what it is that you're going through, no matter where you are and where you find yourself in the season of life, I challenge you to reclaim your time. I would challenge you to find quiet time in the morning or quiet time in the evening. I challenge you that even if you're still working, that maybe you go to your car on your lunch break and you find quiet time to be able to allow God to be able to make divine deposits in you, and to be able to talk to you about the things that He wants you to do, and the things that will change the trajectory of your life and your family. And more importantly, to get out of your own way, right? I challenge you to know that you are good enough. I challenge you to know, and I give you permission to show up fully. I give you permission to be all that God has called you to be. I give you permission to get out of your own way. I give you permission to move mountains. I give you permission to do the impossible. I give you permission to show up for yourself, to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are worthy of all the good and all the amazingness that is waiting for you. Some of us as women have not been given permission, and we have not been told that we are valuable and that we are worthy of it. And so I want you to know that you're worthy. I want you to know that you're more than worthy. I want you to know that thing has been placed inside of you since the foundation of the world, and it is just waiting to come forth and to come out. And so I'm calling you forth. I'm calling you out, and I'm just asking that you would give yourself a chance to be more than what you are now, that this is just the beginning, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there is more than meets the eye. And so if you want to stay connected with me, I am at trueheartspeaks.com. That's TrueheartSpeaks.com. I have a free giveaway, which is a 15-minute mini masterclass called 3 Ways to Get Out of Your Own Way Today. Scroll down the homepage, put your name and your email in there, and you'll be able to get the automatic download. And you'll also be added to my email list. In addition to that, if you stay connected to me on social media, I'm at Facebook and Instagram. I'm all over platforms under True Heart Speech. You can find me at Periscope, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I think I'm under my name, Detra True Heart. I'm on SoundCloud under True Heart Speaks. And so make sure you follow me. Make sure you stay connected with me. I do go live. And so when you follow me, make sure you like, follow, and turn on notifications so that you can get all of the juiciness that I drop when I go live. But I would love to stay connected with you. I would love to be able to help you get out of your own way and show up fully and authentically. I would love to help you move beyond the fear, move beyond the procrastination. I would love to be able to partner with you and challenge you and push you into your next best space in this next new season that God is preparing for us.
Well, Deidre, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing with us. I thank you for being a guest on the Self-Love Sanctuary show, and know that anytime you would like to come back, you are more than willing. Edit this out, Randall, that you are that we would love to have you to come back and be a guest on our show. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are praying with you and praying for you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm grateful for the honor to be able to share, and I would love to come back whenever you would have me.
I know that I will be having you. I will be contacting you again, and I just thank you for saying yes. So, listening audience, you have been listening to the Self-Love Sanctuary show with Coach LuRussia.
The Self-Love Sanctuary Show.
If you would like to contact me, my email address is theslsanctuary@gmail.com, or visit my website at theselflovesanctuarycc.com.